All right, Mike, thanks very much. Hey, another annoyance in the summer. Talked about the sunscreen, got that out of the way, but bug spray, certainly flying off the shelves this time of year.
I'm sure it is, because, especially right now, I know that when I go out in my backyard, I have a pond too, so it kind of gets exacerbated there. Yeah. But the mosquitoes are out and definitely biting. So we're going to talk a little bit about how this works, what works, and whatever other questions you have. Let's talk real quick about how an insect repellent. Now, this is not a pesticide. Okay, we're not talking pesticides, because there's stuff like permethrin out there which actually kills the bugs, but that's not. We don't generally spray ourselves with pesticides. We want to use repellents to keep them away from you. And the way that works, okay, so mosquitoes don't have brains. Okay, insects don't have brains. They have some ganglia that kind of act as nerve centers, but they don't have brains. So if, let's say, Drew was a brainless blood-sucking parasite.
Let's pretend that I am a brainless blood-sucking parasite.
And you wanted to find some food.
I won't say anything. It's too easy.
I'm sorry. Anyway, you wanted to find some food. How do these mosquitoes find, they don't have brains. They can't look at you and go, oh, she looks like a good meal. They don't know the difference between you and this bench. Okay, so how did they do it? Well, CO2. Okay, we emit CO2. We respirate it, and it comes off of us. So we have a CO2 plume, so to speak. And mosquitoes will actually, they don't fly in a straight line. Generally, they kind of zigzag through, and they react chemically to this CO2 plume, and they can zoom right back into its source. Okay, based on the concentration of CO2 in the air. Very sensitive. Okay, so that's how sort of they find you. Now, once they find you, how do they know that you're something that it can eat, as opposed to, the table? Also, heat is a factor. So the third factor is lactic acid and some other amino acids that trigger a bite reflex in the mosquito. So the mosquito lands on you, finds you, and then if you have these chemicals on you, which you do, okay, then it triggers a bite reflex on them, and then they bite you. Okay, so how does things like OFF and things like DEET, DEET is it's N-diethyl toluene. I can't even say it today.
If I had brains, I would.
Toluene. Anyway, it's DEET for short. It scrambles the receptors. So basically, you become invisible to them, and also it masks their bite reflex. So even if they do find you, they don't bite. Okay, and DEET seems to be the best thing on the market, and I know some people don't like, chemicals, but I've never met a chemical-free anything. All right, that'd be a neat trick. So there are a couple other things. Eucalyptus leaves, lemon eucalyptus leaves seems to work pretty good, and picarin also works. So if you look for those things, other stuff like citronella candles and things like that, sorry, they just don't work. I know there's a lot of anecdotal evidence. People will say, like you were, I try this and it works great for me. Well, that may be your body chemistry is reacting to it.
So if you're a person who gets bitten by mosquitoes a lot, what does that say about you?
Well, it says you're very attractive to the mosquito.
On a chemical level.
Does that mean you smell good or smell bad? Or
well, see, that's kind of a judgment call that we put on it. To a mosquito who doesn't have a brain, once again, it's a brainless blood-sucking parasite. They don't know. All they know is the CO2 plume. So maybe you're respirating a lot more CO2. Your body temperature, maybe it's warmer than everybody else that's around you. Okay, that may be attracting them to that. And also that bite reflex. Once they find you, are they going to bite? So are you exuding, more lactic acid or whatever else that causes that bite reflex to happen? Okay, can perfumes mask that? Maybe, maybe not. It's and a lot of the things work by trying to confuse the mosquitoes so that they can't find you. Okay.
Speaking of scent, these things smell awful.
Yes, they do.
And you're always, you're like with people, maybe you're at a barbecue, and everyone stinks like off. I mean, would adding a nice lavender touch to that, would the sweet smell attract bugs? Why do these things have to smell absolutely terrible?
Now, some of them will. Like bees. Bees are attracted to some perfumes because they're extracted from things
flowers
that attracted them,
right,
in the first place. But bees generally won't bother you. But yes and no. Now, OFF has actually come out. Now, I'm not trying to shill for OFF. Okay, there's other products out there that use DEET and things. But OFF has come out, I know, because of that same complaint, with something that actually uses a little bit of the lemon eucalyptus in it as well, which smells much better. Okay, and the picker end doesn't have a smell.
Okay.
So if you use those, but they don't work as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotta kinda
You have to
balance them out.
constantly reapply them. With this stuff, generally, it'll last for 8 hours. You apply it onto yourself, and you're good for 8 hours. Okay. A lot of the other ones, you have to keep reapplying, and as long as you do, it's great. Okay. But I'm lazy. I put it on. I want to forget. And so that's the reason why I use this stuff.
All right.
All right.
Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. We've got your morning rush headlines though coming up right here on X49.